gonna see me looking over there quite a bit too.
Are you guys ready?
Ready.
All right. So
All
we're gonna
right.
go ahead and get started, guys. Good morning. First of all, thanks for logging in. Today we have art class with Nathan, so he's gonna be joining us and telling us some pretty fun project. We're doing a solar system. Like I mentioned, if you guys want to participate from home, a couple things you guys will need would be a ruler or paper, paint, clothespins, markers, and we said water that you'll need. So hope you guys can participate, and I'm gonna go ahead and hand it over to Nathan.
All right. Hi guys. So we're gonna be doing the solar system painting today. So it's gonna look like this. So this is what our end result we hope to have. So we're gonna try for this. So if you haven't already, I would suggest now to start doing the painting it black. So you can give it time to dry so your paintings don't mix, because that would not be fun, because then you'd have a really weird, strange colored planets. So while you guys do that, if you're doing that right now, I'll go over a little bit of facts about the solar system, and then we'll get started. But just a rule of thumb, you don't have to do the same exact thing as me. Art, that's what art is. You can express yourself however you want to. So if you want your sun to be pink, then go for it. That's up to you. And they also don't have to be round like mine are. Like mine are like circles. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. You can do it in like a line or just like whatever you want, a scribble, as long as you know what that is. So it's all up to you. That's what art is. It's just a freedom to do what you want to do. But a little bit of facts. So our planetary system was formed 4.6 billion years ago. So for most of its history, it was thought that everything in space moved around the sun. However, around the 17th century, the idea that the Earth is just one of the planets in the system started gaining popularity. In fact, the sun is only one of more than 200 billion stars moving about in the Milky Way. So the sun is actually just one big giant star. So you know how we see stars at night? Well, we actually see a star during the day, and that's the sun. And that's the biggest star that we have in our solar system. Our solar system consists of 8 planets, which all orbit around our home star, the sun. So our planets are Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. And there's also the dwarf planets, but I still consider Pluto a planet. Is there anybody that still considers Pluto a planet?
I do.
I do.
Good. Well, I'm glad to hear that, because we're going to be painting Pluto today too. So we're doing 9 planets today. But yeah, that's pretty much it that I have for that. So are you guys ready to get started?
Ready.
Hopefully your guys' paintings have dried a little bit by now. So I'm going to flip this around so you guys can see what's going on. And so that's the finished product. I'm going to put this one away for now. I'm going to bring this out. Okay, so starting off with the sun. The sun is the biggest star and the biggest thing in our solar system. So that's going to be our biggest thing on our art drawing. So, and by the way, my hand is always very shaky, so I'm not the best at drawing straight lines, but bear with me. So
Nate, you're an artist. What do you mean?
I'm not good at drawing straight lines, though. So I got the sun right here, and I just made it a little corner thing so that we know that that's like the biggest thing. It takes up more than our ruler. That's how big it is. And then I'll just do a little bit of lines like the sun rays or the sunshine. Easy. All right. So, oh, did you guys not see that? Thought it was opposite. There you go. So there's our sun. So that is the first thing to go in our solar system. And if you guys want to go back later on and kind of go over your paintings, that's always better because more coats the better. It makes it stand out more. So I'm going to dip my brush into the water. And I forgot a napkin. So I'm going to be right back. Got a napkin.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget your napkins, people.
Here.
So who's working on it from home? Anyone participating, doing some artwork at home?
Oh,
Come on, Andrew.
what?
Yeah,
I don't-
all right. I'm back. All right.
Come on, Drew.
That's what.
Hey, Ryan.
I'm going to put my brush in the water.
We're doing,
and dry it off.
we're doing our project. Okay, well, are you gonna sit down and do it? Yes.
Making sure I get all that paint off so that it doesn't mix with my other colors. Alrighty, so moving on. So does anybody know what's next? The very first planet in our solar
Hi,
system?
Nico.
Three.
Hi, Nico.
Who said it? I heard somebody.
Mercury.
Good job, friends.
Mercury.
Mercury. So Mercury is our smallest.
Or Mercury.
So we're gonna make
Mercury.
that one pretty small.
Is glow in the dark black good?
That's fine. That'll be cool because then you can see it at night.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get brown for Mercury. And make sure that you get a really thin paint on your brush so that
Mercury.
we can go over it later with different colors. Because the planets aren't just one solid color. So we're gonna go in and do a little circle. Oh, this brush isn't that great.
Mm-hmm.
I need a different brush. This one is too big. I'm gonna go with this one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hi, Nico.
All right. So there's Mercury for now. Just a small little dot,
Right there.
and it's just a little brown dot. So now we got Mercury. All right, dipping my brush back into the water and wiping it off so I can do my next color. So Venus is our next planet. So Venus, we're gonna do a tan color. So if you don't have tan, that's fine. If you have black and white, you can mix those together to make a lighter, or not even black and white, but brown and white. It can make a little bit of a lighter color for your brown so that it gets a little bit different because we're gonna be using that tan quite a bit. So if you have those colors, that's great. And like I said, if not, it's fine. You can do your own colors. It doesn't have to be exactly what I do. So I'm gonna dip into the tan. And Venus is a little bit bigger than Mercury. It's almost about the same size as Earth. So we're gonna make it a little bit bigger. All right. So there is Venus.
Mm-hmm.
And we are now almost done with our inner planets. We only have 2 more inner planets. We have our inner and outer planets.
Mm-hmm.
So our inner planets consist of Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. Our outer planets are Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. All right. So who wants to take a guess of what's next in our solar system?
Jupiter.
Wait, oh, I heard who?
Jupiter. It's something we live
What?
at.
Not Jupiter. I heard somebody say it.
I did that.
Frankie, what did you say?
Jupiter.
Earth.
Yeah.
It's the one where we live at.
Exactly. Earth is the planet we live at right now. So, what color is Earth?
Blue.
Yes. Good job. So I'm gonna dip into blue. I'm gonna do a little bit of a lighter blue with this so that we can see, because later on we're gonna go back in with a different color. So like I said, Venus is almost the same size as Earth, but Earth is a little bit bigger than Venus. So I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger.
I did burnt and rain.
What'd you say?
Burnt and rain.
Yeah? A little bit bigger than I wanted, but it's okay.
Yeah, you're probably right. Right on that.
And Earth is the only one that we have that has life on it.
For California.
Yeah, California is an Earth.
Yep.
Rude.
All right, dipping my paintbrush back in,
Yeah.
drying it off. All right, who wants to take a guess at what's next in our solar system?
Anybody?
Mars.
Anybody?
Mars.
Yep, Mars. All right. So Mars is smaller than Earth and Venus. So we're going to get red, because Mars is known as the red planet.
Mars.
Mars is also the only planet we know the most information about because it's right next to us. So
And law.
I'm gonna go in with our red,
Mars.
make it a little bit smaller than our Earth. All right. So that is Mars. So we are all done, or we're done right now with our inner planets.
Outer
What
planet.
I didn't do on my little thing is a part of the solar system is the asteroid belt. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab some gray, and that kind of separates our inner and our outer planets. So I'm gonna grab some gray, and I'm just gonna do a bunch of little dots.
This is gonna be fun to try not to. Again, my name is Connie. Is this paintbrush good or?
Any paintbrush should work.
It is 714-704-426.
Right? Okay, there's our asteroid belt. I
There's
haven't tried that
one.
for you guys in a while,
Hot
but
stuff, isn't it?
it's just a bunch of little gray dots. That's gonna be our asteroid belt.
It's kind of what it looks like there.
Yep. All right, putting that in the water.
I got one planet.
Payment was
I got one planet.
Oh, good. Good job. And like I said, you don't, it's okay if you're a little bit slower than me. That's okay. I'm going a little bit fast, but we'll have the recordings up on YouTube so you guys can come back later so you don't feel too rushed. Okay, so now we're going to be starting with our outer planets. So, what is our first outer planet? Does anybody know?
No.
Jupiter.
Good, Brent. Brent knows his solar system.
the info.
Jupiter is next, and Jupiter is our biggest planet. So,
Very big.
yep. So we are going to make it much bigger than the rest of the planets that we've done so far. I don't want this brush. Hold on. Get this one. All right. So I'm going to make Jupiter brown because that one's a really big brown planet and it has a lot of tan lines in between it. So we're going to need to have that tan color still. So make sure you still have that equipped if you're using tan. But yeah, we're going to make it almost as big as the ruler, but not That's
Bye-bye.
not pushing it out too much so that we know our sun is even bigger than it. So,
Jupiter logo. Take the paint Jupiter as ruler.
right.
And
Filling it in. And like I said, just make sure that you have a pretty thin paint on your brush so that it's not going to take forever to dry if you are following with me. But yeah, because we are going to be going back over them.
okay.
Why?
Okay.
Because we're going to start doing our lines on our planets so that we can give them a little bit of texture. All right, so there is Jupiter.
Jupiter. Nathan Jupiter.
Yep. All right, dipping in the water and drying it off. Who knows what's next in our solar system?
It
Wow.
has rings here.
Yep. Which one has rings?
Saturn.
It has the most rings. Which one?
I was
Saturn.
calling because
Saturn.
hear me?
All right. So Saturn, I'm going to use that tan color again, like I did with Venus. So
Okay.
let me grab it really fast.
I'm going to share my screen with you so you can see something, okay? So I'm going to call you on my on the cell phone, but well, you know what? It's working right.
All right. So Saturn is smaller than Jupiter, but it's our second biggest planet. So we're going to make it pretty big too. I'm going to turn this around because I'm a lefty and I'll probably put my hand in the other paint. So I'm going to work backwards. But yeah, make a smaller planet than Jupiter, but still a good size. It's more of an oval, but it's fine.
Yes, that was some Forge Adventure with Ryan. I'm like, this is where you're going. But if you want to see more videos like this, hit this.
And like I said, it doesn't need to be perfect.
I
You don't even have to do circles if you don't want to. You can make it abstract. And that's totally fine. As long as you know what you're doing, that is more than fine. All right. So that is Saturn for now. But like I said, we'll go back in later. All right. Let's take a look at our planets so far before we finish. So we've got the Sun, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. What's next?
If something goes sideways and goes upside down, here's another frequency.
Wow, Brent,
Is it Uranus?
you really know your solar system. Yes, Uranus. For all purposes, I'm going to say Uranus. So.
For all purposes.
So I'm going to be grabbing like this teal color, and you guys can grab whatever blue you want. Just try to make it lighter because the next planet is going to be a darker blue. So I'm going to go in with this teal color that I have. If you have white and blue, you can make a teal with it. So I would suggest to do that if you have the ability to. If not, again, just make it whatever color you want to make it. So this is our third biggest planet in the solar system.
I think I like my mom. I know.
And you would think since it's blue that it'd be filled with water, but it's actually not.
Mine
Actually,
is
just full of
blue.
gas.
Mine water is blue.
Yeah, usually water is blue, right? But actually, it's just filled with a bunch of gas that makes it the color blue. All right. And there is that. Dipping my brush in the water, drying it off.
Hi, Cynthia.
Hi, Ryan.
All right.
Hi, Sylvia.
What's the next one? Does anyone know?
It has a great dark spot.
Yep, and that is Neptune. All right, so Neptune, we're gonna go in with the darker blue this time because it does differ from its last planet. So it's gonna be smaller. And this one also is just gas.
I think you guys will like mine.
I think so too.
Mine's super colorful.
That's awesome.
Hi, Sylvia.
All right. And there is Neptune. All right, we have one more planet, and it's the one that we talked about in the very beginning.
It's the one that gets
considered
very
our dwarf
small.
planet.
Pluto!
Pluto, good job. So Pluto is very, 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 very small. It's the small, if you're doing the 9 planets in the solar system, it's even smaller than Mercury. So we're gonna make this one pretty tiny. And I'm gonna go with gray for
I'm
Pluto.
doing red.
Red,
Pluto.
all right, that's totally fine. Alrighty, hopefully this comes out fine because these brushes aren't the best, but we make do with what we have. So I'm gonna make a small little circle.
No, this is for good.
Oops. Breaking apart.
There we go. Finally got it open.
All right, that's the best I could do with the brushes I have.
Yeah.
So here's our last planets with Pluto right there. So we have
Oh,
completed
yeah.
the first stage of our solar system. So while we let those dry, if you guys have clothespins, that's great. If not, you don't need them right now. You can use them for later because it is more just like a later thing. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab 10.
I'm putting
clothespins.
sparkle on it.
That's awesome. It'll make it even look more
Yes,
realistic.
girl, you get that glitter.
Yeah,
Little guys love
glitter.
So 10
I'm going
of
for
these
glitter
guys.
right
1,
now.
2, 3, 4. Oh, let me go. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And this is something that you guys can do at home. This is just like a side little thing for you guys. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna write each planet on the safety pins or the clothespins, and I'm gonna put the name of it. And what you guys can do later on is you can do like a little quiz on yourself, so that you guys know which planets are which. So on the first one, I'm gonna put, I don't know if you guys can see it, but I'm gonna put Mercury. And it's spelled Mercury. So I have Mercury on the safety pin. And you guys can do a little game out of it or whatever you want. But you can just put it on there, right? Where Mercury is. So that you know that that's where Mercury is. And you can kind of test yourselves and see if you guys remember what goes where and which one is which. And so on and so forth. And you can even put a little, like write something on the back, like a flashcard or something. And it could be like, which one is the smallest planet? So I would put that on the back of Mercury. Well, if we're doing Pluto, then it would actually be Pluto. But I would say Mercury, and I would put it where Mercury is at. So again, just like that. And you guys, again, can make it a little game, little educational thing for the family. So yeah, you guys can use this more than just one time. And I would put that on every single one of these, starting with Mercury all the way to Pluto. actually, you can actually start with the sun too. You can do the sun as well. But yeah, so mine seem pretty dry, so I'm gonna go back in and do with the little textures. So Mercury has a little bit of red in it since it's super hot. It is the closest planet to the sun, so you would think that would get pretty hot. So I'm gonna go in with red, and I'm just gonna do a little bit of like small lines. I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm gonna go in with some smaller lines. And you can just do this however you want to do it. It doesn't have to be like me. You can make it however you want. It doesn't have to be exact, because mine does not look exactly like how the planets look. All right. So there, I don't know if you guys can see that. There's Mercury. All right. So Mercury actually has ice caps on it, if you guys didn't know. Even though it is super hot, it still does hold some ice on it. All right, next we have Venus, which is a very gaseous, I can't say that word, but has a lot of gas on it. So we're gonna go in with some white, and we're gonna make it look pretty cloudy up there. So I'm gonna grab some white, and I'm gonna make sure that I don't have a whole lot on that brush, so that it makes it more of a cloud effect. I'm gonna go in with some lines on it as well on the spooler, but I'm just kind of like dabbing my brush on there very lightly, so it looks more cloudy.
Okay.
All right, and there is Venus. It doesn't look as good on the camera, but you get the gist. All right, so what does Earth have on it? You guys should know this one. Anyone?
Don't know.
You don't know? Other than water, what does Earth have? It has grass, land, right?
Yeah. All the
So
land
I'm gonna
stuff.
go get some green, and I'm gonna do some green splotches on my Earth. And I'm just gonna do big old like splotches on there, just like big dots. Just so it looks like land. And there is our Earth. All right. Now with Mercury, or not Mercury, Mars, I'm gonna get some brown, some of the darker brown. No, actually, I'm going to get orange. So grab some orange, and we're gonna do the same thing that we did with Mercury. So I'm just gonna do a bunch of like lines, maybe some dots. Kind of do whatever you want. It's up to your own personal liking. Go around there. All right, and there is, oops, see that? There's Mars. We're gonna leave the asteroid belt alone. That one's done, so we don't have to go back with that. All right, so Jupiter, I'm gonna use tan. And do you guys know anything special about Jupiter? It has a big eye on it. So that's how we know that that's Jupiter, other than it's the biggest planet. But we're gonna save the eye for a little bit later, because first we gotta do some lines. So I'm gonna grab my tan. I'm gonna do some bigger lines first.
He's a really good artist, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Look at the close.
brush isn't the greatest, but we'll work with what we have. So it's got some bigger lines in it. And I'm gonna do one more big line, and that's where our eye is gonna be. So I'm gonna do one straight line on the bottom part of it. And then on the left side, I'm gonna do a little bit of a bigger, like, dot. And that's where our eye is gonna go later on. And then all around it, I'm just gonna do a little bit of thinner lines, just to give a little bit more texture to it. And again, this is all up to you guys on what you wanna do with it. This is just what my
Hi,
personal.
Cynthia, hi.
All right. So for now,
Cynthia.
that is Jupiter, and this is the only one
Cynthia,
we're gonna
hi.
go back in later. There's one more thing we got to do to it, and that's the eye. Okay. So does anybody know what's special about Saturn? What does Saturn have around it?
A ring.
Yeah, Saturn has a bunch of rings, actually. It has very thick
Hi,
rings.
hi, Cynthia.
So I'm gonna go get some, or I'm gonna get some gray, which I don't know where my gray's at. Oh, it's right here. So I'm gonna make a thicker ring around the planet. I'm gonna turn it around like I did last time so I don't get in the way of everything else. All right, so hopefully this works. This brush isn't doing that great, but so I'm gonna do a line. I'm gonna cross it with my gray.
Hi,
And then I'm gonna make a hook going underneath so that it looks like it's going behind the planet. And around.
Oh,
All right.
yeah, you can.
All right, so there's our ring for Saturn. And now we move on to Uranus. So it actually has a ring too, if you guys didn't know that. It has one ring. So I'm gonna get some white and we're gonna do the same thing, but Brent actually brought this up earlier. It's actually on its side. So the ring goes up and down instead of across like it does in Saturn. So I'm gonna grab some white and I'm gonna do a nice white thin line around it. And it's gonna start from the bottom to the top. Less of that. All right. So just a thin white line. Now we're gonna scoop it and around. Scoop and safety this moment, so it's not heavy. All right. And there is Uranus. Almost done, guys. So actually, I don't really have to do anything with Neptune. If you guys want to, there's a dark spot on Neptune, but I don't have a darker blue. So if you guys wanted to put a dark blue spot on Neptune, you guys are more than willing to do that. And then I'm gonna also leave Pluto alone. And now I have to do the red spot that's on Jupiter. So I'm gonna go get some red, and that spot that we made that's bigger on our tan line, I'm just gonna go right in the center of that. I'm gonna make a nice little circle. Oh, my paint's not dry yet, but all right. And that is the eye of Jupiter. Alrighty, guys. So now from here, you can make little tiny stars if you want. This is all up to you guys. So you guys did the planet, so great job. So it's all up to you. From here, I'm gonna go in and get some white and just do a bunch of tiny little white dots all around to make stars all around our solar system, because that's what surrounds our solar system is stars. So I'm just gonna do a bunch of little white dots all over the place. Oops, that's a big star. Oh well. My stars are very big, but it's fine.
So, Nathan. Big one.
All right. So my stars aren't that great, but I'm sure you guys have better stars than I do. But yeah, and then after that, that's kind of up to you what you want to do. You can add a moon. See, in my last one, I added a moon where Earth is at. There's actually a lot of moons in our solar system, but I just did the Earth's moon. And then I did a little rocket ship too. It's up to you guys what you want to do. Space has a bunch of things that you can put out there. So, but yeah, that is our solar system. And I hope you guys had a good time learning a little bit about our solar system and painting it as well.
I tried to do them.
Do you guys have any? Does anybody follow along?
Yeah,
So Morales is holding up hers.
Elisa Morales, you did one?
I don't know how.
Oh, Frankie, good job, Frank. Looking good.
Ethan,
Yeah.
Hi, Terry.
I draw planet.
Dang, you can do whatever you want to do.
Good
It
job,
doesn't have to be a
Frankie.
circle like
Good
mine. You
work.
can do a line. You can do anything
Good,
you want.
Frankie.
Good job, Manny. That looks great.
Manny,
Nice, Manny.
Elisa Morales.
Hi, Cynthia.
A ver otra vez, Elisa. A ver.
Oh, Lisa, very
Oh.
nice. Oh, that was
Hey,
great.
look at you.
That's great, guys. Well, I'm glad you guys had a good time with this. And if you guys need more time, you could always go back and refer to the video. But good job, guys. You guys are great.
Awesome. Thank you, Nathan. Thanks for class today. It was really educational. And now some of you guys enjoyed it.
You
I
have
don't
to
see
see
anyone.
this, guys.
I'm waiting for Jenna. Where's yours?
I have mine. Like,
Let's see.
Oh, very nice.
Ooh.
Yours is
Lots
very
of glitter.
galaxy.
You added a lot of glitter to that.
That's great.
Good job, guys. Well, thanks for participating, guys. Thanks for joining us this morning in our art
do you see
class.
the glitter
Nathan.
in there?
Hey.
Thank you,
Yes, it
Nathan.
looks great.
Thank you for class, Nathan.
Oh, thank you guys for coming.